This programme is brought to you by vinny.co.uk.
Oh, welcome back to the Champions League pool here on Free Sports. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb still with you, and it's hotting up. We are halfway through our group number 2 and still very much all to play for. About to see Aaron Davies play for the second time tonight. He takes on Andy Cragg, but a great win there, Simon, for the sole man, John Sullivan, who's now right in the mix in this group.
He is disappointing first match, but an excellent second match. Needed a couple of opportunities in a couple of the frames, but looked a lot more comfortable out there. And we've seen him on a few shootout events, and this is his first victory, so he'll be pleased to get that on the board and that monkey off his back. And he'll be looking to see if he can double that in the next match and give himself a chance to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the league table then as we move on forward. The two players almost ready to get going in the arena, and this is how things stand at the moment. Aaron Davies is tied top with John Sullivan. A win or a draw for Aaron will take him into outright lead, and Andy Cragg with a chance to go top himself should he get a win. Here we go then, it's time to go. Aaron versus Andy. Probably fair to say, Simon, this is seed 1 versus seed 4, at least in the sort of mental seedings, certainly according to the bookies at least, coming into this one. And Andy Cragg, good performance in his first match, and a chance to really, get going in this one until he went in off the break.
Yeah, not the start you want after a slow start in the opening match. That's going to be disappointing for him. Aaron's just going to be looking to build on his performance in the first match, where he started very slowly himself.
The last 2 frames at the table were vintage Aaron Davies. They were absolutely superb. He can play like that. He's going to be very, very difficult to beat for anyone.
It looked like he was about to go 3-1 behind, was let off the hook, and then responded, didn't he, with those 2 finishes from the break. And you're right, he's got the group in his own hands, which is where you want it, really. If he wins this match, then he's going to knock Andy and Oli out. It will only be John that could come through. But importantly for Aaron is that he'd have the control in his last match. Any point in his last match would be enough. So we saw it from Josh last week. If you can keep the group in your own hands and your own control, that's where you want it. Tricky little order at the bottom of the table. Red above the black, that's probably tricky. I don't think it goes to the bottom left until the other red's out the way, the one that's just below to the left of it. And that red's awkward to land nicely on. So the order of these 3 balls is going to be tricky. You see, I think that's why Aaron is taking all of his shot clock to work out where he wants to be and the route he wants to take.
That's one thing that won't faze him at all. Very used to playing with the shot clock now.
He can play for the red into the left centre pocket, but if he plays for it into the left centre, it's hard to land on the red above the black. Oh, he's on the one above the black now. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, that changes the whole outlook of the frame, doesn't it? But that is not the kindest of nudges for him.
Had to play that with just a trace of left-hand side. I don't think he could see the potting angle, so turned it over with a little bit of left-hand side, and that's taken away the control.
Didn't quite cut. He's got a handy little roll there to leave that white stuck to the yellow. Not sure if it was possible to cut this in. I think it would have been, not sure if you could go much thinner. It was tight, but
eventually actually tried to play it off the black, and the problem was that actually nudged the other red safe, so he's actually fortunate that it didn't drop in. If it drops in, he's in worse position.
He's got some thinking to do here. It's a clever little shot from Andy.
Had to make sure of hitting a cushion after contact with the red. Just couldn't come on and off the bottom cushion and rest on the red. Have to make sure that you hit cushion every shot or pot a ball.
And this forces Andy's hand because all the balls now for Aaron are out in the open. Andy will have to go for this.
Andy could cut this one at the bottom of the table across. Cut the one at the bottom of the table across onto the red and take the pocket and get the white up beyond the black. I think it's worth the risk. I think maybe what he's looking at. Certainly what he tried, and it's well executed in the end.
Yeah, you called that absolutely spot on.
Only thing I will say is the white's travelled a little bit more to the left-hand side than he wanted. He hit it a fraction thicker than he wanted, which is why the yellow's come away from the pocket, and it's given him at least a look of this red. He may be able to cut this back or make it off the yellow.
Yeah, you just saw a little shake of the head from
Oh, what a
Andy.
shot.
What a shot that is, though, from Aaron Davies. Goodness me. What a shot that is. Oh, what a finish that is from Aaron Davies. It was a great choice of shot from Andy Cragg. He did really well to spot it. And the execution was just a little bit lacking, and it opened this up, but goodness me, this required some execution.
It did. The shot that Andy played against most players would have been enough to win you the frame, or certainly give you the opportunity to win the frame, but Aaron's come up with something special there, and Andy shouldn't be too hard on himself.
No, I completely agree. This is the sort of standard that he's dealing with. You know, a World Championship runner-up, a Junior World Champion, a World Masters semi-finalist. Top player is Aaron Davies.
Yeah, watch that CV over the next few years. 23 years old, and look at the CV already. That's just going to grow and grow.
And, we mentioned in last week's show about the new rules side being quite universal and quite similar to lots of other forms of the game, the likes of Chinese 8-ball, the game that's played in the US, and the universal pool game, the mini clip game as well. And Aaron's actually, you were telling me earlier, had quite a ridiculous amount of success.
Yeah, so
with this rule set in another form of the game, shall we say? Yeah,
as I understand it, I've never played the game. Apparently, there's an online game called Mini Clip, which is based on the American 8-ball rules, which is very loosely the same, or very closely aligned, shall we say, to international 8-ball rules. And I think Aaron's been playing on there and having a huge amount of success during lockdown. So has been learning the rules, I suppose, that way.
Yeah, he won some serious money. Shows you how good those patterns are when they still work on the virtual side of the game as well.
I think the referee is just asking for wants to see a replay on the break to see whether enough balls went past the centre line to see whether it was a foul break or not. So you need the break is played to a 4-point rule. You need either a point per ball potted and a point per ball past the centre line, and there you go. I think that's.
Can you stop the match clock as well, please?
That is a legal break.
Do it again, I just distracted.
Let's have a look at the break. Actually, we were looking at the wrong replay. Actually, we're look at a different replay now, and I guess this is going to be the referee's discretion whether that ball in the centre of the table is actually past the centre line or not, and she's decided that it's not.
Did you break that? So you have the choice to break or give it back to Aaron.
It looks like Vivresco's decided that it is an illegal break.
Yeah, we got there in the end. The right decision was made. That ball that finished almost on the centre line of the table was just below the centre line, as Viv has called, and when that happens, it's an illegal break, and that means the rack has to be re-racked. There is no choice on whether to be re-racked or not. It will be re-racked. It's the person who didn't break now has the choice to either break themselves or hand the break back to the original breaker. So Andy's going to come to the table, take the option of breaking. We actually saw this last week as well when Rob Warren actually had 3 consecutive break dishes because of this rule. Andy will be happy if that happens to him, but it's not. He's going to come up dry himself.
I don't think that was a statement about you, Andy. Red ball's in play.
Aaron's decided to go for red. So red nearest the cue ball now to the left centre. That's a problem ball. Actually, the one just below it's a problem ball as well. It doesn't go to the bottom left. So there's going to be a tricky chance for him if he wants to take these on. He was taking them on, but misses the pot to the top left. Wanted to create an angle on one of the reds to the bottom right or bottom left to open things up, but won't get that chance now. Table over to Andy, and he has his own problems. Yellows are not a nice set as well, and that's not going to help. He wanted to be on the yellow to the bottom left to try and open things up a little bit.
Still choosing to attack though. Here's Andy. Hasn't really got a huge amount of choice. He's got a couple of headaches on the left side of this table as it is right now.
Yeah, I think you can see the one nearest the pocket. I don't know how much he can open up off this shot. That's his problem. He's going to try and open up he's opened up. Well, he's sort of opened up 2, but still got one safe, and actually one of the ones he's opened up has gone too far up the table. A little bit unfortunate the way he played that. He would have hoped for it to come out better. Don't know if he might just be straight enough to be able to screw back. No, he's screwing out into the middle of the table. I don't know whether he can pot the one just above the red. If he can, he'll at least given himself a shot on the last yellow. But the shake of the head tells me that he probably can't.
Extension called.
And the only extension called by Andy Cragg, just to give himself a little bit more time on this one. He was going to take the red over that pocket. That was what he played. Got a great white ball.
That was a clever shot. It was a very clever shot. If he manages to get the yellow onto the red and take that red away, then he's got a really good safety shot. But having missed it, Aaron's going to have a great chance. He's going to have to play one cannon. And he's got a great red to do so. Obviously the red nearest the left centre is a problem ball. The red just below it is a great little ball to open it up. Although he may have to take it now if he can't see the red nearest the corner pocket. Well, he could, and now he has a good angle on that red.
Beautifully played. He's got the run of the ball there as well off the cannon, which he hasn't always had. He's played a couple of nice shots tonight, Aaron Davies, in terms of moving balls and playing cannons. It's always come out to him kindly, but on that occasion it certainly has. He's a couple of shots away from 2-0 here. He's worked these out really, really well. This is what he does so well, Aaron Davies. He is capable of really impressively taking a game away from an opponent. We saw it in the Super Series actually. After the first tournament that we had on Free Sports after lockdown was the Super Series, a tournament of shootout matches. We put in one of the performances of the tournament in that game, in that first round game, I think it was Aaron Davies. And when he's playing really well, it really is a great game to watch because he makes it look so effortlessly simple.
Yeah, he almost forced, it was Emma Cunningham he was playing against, and he was forcing her to be more and more aggressive. He was so clinical when he had his chances. When he had a chance to clear up, he took it. If the clearance wasn't on, he would develop the table and leave Emma tricky, and she was having to be more and more aggressive, and it's almost the same thing might happen here. Andy wants to be really aggressive, and Aaron's going to let him be aggressive, almost let him chase these finishes. If he happens to make one, then fair play, but if he doesn't, Aaron knows he's going to win those frames.
Time on it.
Yeah, it's that percentage pool we talk about every now and then. He's a great exponent of it, is Aaron Davies. He got a lot of spin on the ball there, did Andy Cragg. It's a good break though. He got the first chance in the last frame. It didn't work out. Can't afford to give Aaron Davies many more chances. Less than 10 minutes to go in this one. Only 2 frames played so far. It's been a relatively slow match, the slowest of the night so far.
Yeah, it's not a great chance because of the yellow on the left-hand side. That's a difficult yellow to land on. The reds above it are really blocking it. He'll probably try and screw across the table now to try and land on it. Well, it's not really worked out. For a second there I thought he was going to have a chance to land on it on the off the next ball. He wanted to hit the red above the one he actually hit. He caught the wrong red.
Oh, I tell you what.
Oh, that's excellent.
That is not a bad effort, that.
That's excellent. And if he makes this pot, he's going to have a black shot at the black. Brilliant.
Tell you what, he's on for one hell of a clearance here is Andy Cragg. Just to keep the match alive as well. 3-0 would have been a big deficit to come back from. That is some clearance from Andy Cragg. You can see the appreciation from Aaron Davies up at the top of your picture as well. Really, really high level stuff from Andy there. One of the clearances of the night, that for me.
Yeah, exactly, and I think everyone else in the group would have been pleased to see that because Ole and John also need Andy to get something out of this match to stop Aaron from running away with this group. So they'll be pleased to see that finish. But it really was excellent. He had a problem ball and took him 2 efforts to develop it, but managed to do so and keeps himself in the match and therefore in the group as well. But as I was saying before, he took out that finish as well. Aaron would have sat there and been happy to watch Andy take on that finish. Those are the sorts of finishes I'm sort of talking about. Aaron would have sat there thinking, okay, you take that on. If you don't make this clearance, I'm going to win this frame. If you do make it, fair play to you. But you know, that was a tough finish he took out.
Yeah, it takes a bit of mental fortitude to be able to play that way, I guess. And Aaron Davies is very much experienced enough, despite his relatively tender years, to know that he won't win every frame of pool that he plays, and it's just not possible. He's more than happy to be beaten on frames that he doesn't have a shot in, especially when they're forced to be difficult.
That was a loose break from Aaron. His first break was actually had to be re-racked because it was a foul break, and this one wasn't far off again. He really mishitting that front ball.
I think without the ball going down, that would have been another foul break as well. But 3 over the centre line and 1 in the pocket fulfills that 4-point rule that we were talking about, that he fell foul of in the last instance of his break.
Two problem balls for Aaron. One underneath his cue now is the real problem. The one just to its right does go to the bottom right, or would do once the other red's out of the way. He's not worried about that now. He's turned the table over. He probably was taking that pot on, but happy to take the pocket and turn the table over because yellows are even worse here.
Oh, that's a great shot. That was a touch more ambitious.
He's left Aaron a really good angle here to try and open up those two problem reds. And he has opened up them both.
Awfully tricky cueing that, but nicely cued by really nice shot. The big favourite in this match now. 4 more balls to dispatch, but if he does so, he goes 3-1 up with less than 5 minutes to play. Odds on at that point to take another victory, which will take him to 4 points atop the group and leave the group at his mercy for his final match of the night. Still got early bell to play. Should be 3-1 then. That is.
Frame.
And that is possibly the dagger for Andy Cragg.
It's so impressive from Aaron. Part of my job on commentary is to sort of explain when there's some problem balls and areas that might be tricky. And a number of times tonight, Aaron's one shot into a visit, and you know as a pool player that he's going to clear up. All the damage was done in that first shot, opened up his 2 problem balls in 1 shot, and he was never anywhere else but perfect the rest of the visit. It's just very impressive from him.
Yeah, he wasn't at it in that first game, in the first half of it, at least against John Sullivan. He'd be the first to admit that. And we even saw a couple of twinges of irritation on the face of Aaron Davies, but the last couple of frames in that match seemed to settle him down. He was back to his best, and since then hasn't really hit a false note. And Andy Cragg here is up against it, which he knew he would be in this match. He's daft, Andy. He'd have looked at this and knew it was his toughest test of the night. Hasn't really done an awful lot wrong, which is perhaps sometimes that can be frustrating as a player.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's actually missed a pot in this match.
That'll frustrate him.
Yeah,
no mistake about that.
Yeah, poor break.
He's got a lot of balls on the move here, but screwing straight into the middle pocket is user error. And there's not many players you'd rather hand the table over to less than Aaron Davies' form that he's in right now. Only a loss of turn and cue ball in hand behind the break line. That is what happens when you're going off the break in this rule set. It still requires your opponent to really work for their finish.
I often get asked how far ahead players think about finishes. Well, it's a really good sign of how far ahead they look. Aaron's already come round to have a look at where the black goes. You have to sort of consider the whole finish. No point getting down to the black if it doesn't go. And he's had a look, and I think it does go to the bottom right hand corner. If that's the case, then he doesn't need to move anything. He can just work his way around the finish. Another thing I find impressive with Aaron is his use of the shot clock. A number of times he plays the shot with a second or 2 left, yet he never ever looked rushed.
Yeah, totally in control, isn't he?
Yeah, and I know that a lot of that's down to the fact that there are a lot of screens in the arena, so you always know exactly where you are as a player out there. You know, the beeps help as well, but you still got to be able to do it. He is in complete control at all times. Screw back to roughly where he is now would be perfect. Tougher pot to the top left, but natural position onto the black.
And this will be for the win as well. Race to 4, remember. It just drops, but you can see the angle on the black isn't the kindest with him potting it thin. So now it's a tougher shot to get the win. But having made that one, you'd back him to make this. 2 out of 2. Never in doubt, was it? From Aaron Davies. 2 really, really good shots to end that frame and to end the match. 4-1 the victory. And that was the slow death, really. Beautiful shots to the top left corner. And Aaron Davies has 2 out of 2. Tops the table with 4 points. And John Sullivan is now the only man who can stop him. He's up next. I think, John, he's got a big, big game to try and force his way into contention to win this group. Great work from Aaron Davies. Just put on a clinic at times there.
Yeah, very impressive. He finished off his first match in great form, and he was very impressive in this match, apart from the break. Those looks a little bit odd, the fact that Andy's had 4 breaks to Aaron's 2, but when you consider that one of the frames both players got to break because of a poor break from Aaron, that is kind of the reason for that anomaly. But yeah, brilliant performance from Aaron, and he's a big favourite now to go through tonight.
Yeah, he certainly is, and we will be back with match number 5 of the night. When we come back, we are getting through them.